I'm sure this is going to be confusing for a lot of people, but I am quitting full-time social media to go back to work. There's quite a few reasons that I ended up making this decision, but the number one reason is money. When I was laid off from Amazon 10 months ago, I was very lucky that since I had been with the company for 8 years, my severance was pretty generous, which gave me a few months to think and really figure out what I wanted to do. I spent the first few months traveling and honestly just trying to get my mental health back to a good state. I had been in a pretty bad place with work, and so having those first few months was truly such a breath of fresh air. My number one piece of advice through all of this is if you ever have the opportunity to take a sabbatical from work, do it. It was so freeing. Like, I didn't even realize how far gone my mental health was until I was away from work and I had that break. And of course, everyone's work situation is different. Like, you might not even be in a bad place, but it's just healthy to take a step back and get some time and perspective to kind of look around and say, like, how am I feeling about life? Do I need a break? Where do I want to go from here? So I would definitely encourage you, if you can, take that opportunity. Once I was done traveling, my husband and I sat down around the holidays and we had a really big discussion about if I could turn social media into a full-time gig. We decided that I would give it a try and see what I could come up with by the end of Q1, which is right around the corner. I think there's a lot about the world of social media, specifically how you make money and how much money you make, that is just unknown to people. And I'm here to tell you, I did not make any money. Between my TikTok and my Instagram, I have 400,000 followers, and I always just assumed people with followings like that were raking in money. But to be honest, I have had a really hard time trying to get brands to commit to paying me and not just sending me free stuff. So yes, while I do think maybe in the future there'll be an opportunity for me to take my content full time, right now that just is not feasible. Aside from the money, the next reason I pursued getting a 9-to-5 job is because I honestly really miss having a routine. Yes, it was super nice to not have a routine and not have any plans and not feel like I need to be at my desk from this hour to this hour, but after a while, that gets kind of old. Honestly, all the days start blurring together. Like, I was unaware when it was a weekend versus a weekday, and of course, all your friends are still working, so it's not like you're just spending the weekdays, like, hanging out with all your friends all the time. And again, absolutely no complaints. The last 10 months have really been a period of refreshment and feeling really, really at ease and at peace. But there is something to be said about having purpose in your day, and I just did not have that by not having a job. And putting my content out on social media is something I love to do. Creation for me is genuinely something I enjoy. I don't feel like I'm forcing it, but when it's the only part of my day and the only structure I have, I found that my creativity kind of was like being forced. Like, I wasn't always wanting to post, but I felt like I always had to post because if I wasn't turning this into something, like, I'm screwed, oh no, what are we gonna do? This is probably fairly common among like athletes and singers and people who turn their hobbies into an actual job. Like, I have to imagine you kind of lose some of the spark and the fun of it because suddenly there's all this pressure behind it. And so I'm really excited because now I'm gonna have a job and that will take the pressure off of like turning social media into money, and I can honestly just go back to enjoying posting for the fun of it and to entertain you guys. And lastly, I kind of touched on this before, but I just want to have purpose. You probably hear this most often when women become mothers and they become stay-at-home moms, that they just feel like their world has shrunk and they have like no outside perspective. Everything is about this baby. They're stuck in their house all day and they just really feel a loss of purpose. And I think it was fairly similar what happened when I got laid off, obviously to a much lesser degree, but I really felt like everyone else's world kept getting bigger and mine was getting smaller, and I just had less life experiences, less things happening to me. I had less to share with friends. I want to be the one out there and accomplishing things. I want to be the one telling my friends I'm getting promoted. Like, I want to work hard and accomplish things. And yes, of course you can do that with social media, but again, it just doesn't feel quite the same. And maybe that's just because of how I'm handling it and how I'm treating my social media. But to me, I definitely didn't feel that same sense of accomplishment as I do when I'm in a job. And I'm anticipating that there's probably going to be an adjustment period. I haven't been to an office in over 4 years, and I haven't even done recruiting in 10 months. I'm not anticipating that this will suddenly be all butterflies and rainbows, but I do think that the pros outweigh the cons in this moment. And I think for right now, like, I am thrilled to be going back to work. I'm so excited for this opportunity. I feel like this company is such a great fit. The role is amazing. Like, I could not be more excited and more thrilled. And yes, I will still be doing social media. Don't worry, I will be filming on the weekends and posting throughout the week. I'm not going anywhere, but it might slow down a little bit, so please be patient with me while I'm adjusting. And if you're out there and you want to quit your 9 to 5 and start influencing, like, please don't let me deter you. I think there are a ton of people who have made that work and have been so happy with the choice. Honestly, maybe I'll do it in the future. I have no idea. I just know that for right now, this is what's best for me.